You know what I find strange and just kind of odd? A Harvest Moon game from the Game Boy Advance being remade and rebranded as a Story of Seasons game, though many people in the gaming community know why that is. Marvelous was the original developers of the Harvest Moon series, and Natsume, its distributor, retained rights to the name. Natsume wanted to make their own Harvest Moon games, so now we've got Story of Seasons by Marvelous and Harvest Moon by Natsume. What we're going to talk about today is a remake, originally Harvest Moon, but now Story of Seasons. Here is my review of Story of Seasons: Friends of Mineral Town for the Nintendo Switch. The story here is about you moving into Mineral Town, becoming a resident, and taking up your family's old farm. And as far as the story goes, that's pretty much it. There's no really big main quest. You are simply taking up the farm and becoming a resident of the town, creating relationships, and hopefully getting married one day. The story and dialogue really does fit this casual feel, as everything is very cutesy and there's nothing really huge RPG questy going on. A lot of the more important events are not important to the entire world, but something important to the characters involved. It's very slice of lifey, like having an argument with a parent over what kind of flowers to send to a certain event. It's not important in the grand scheme of things, but it's important to you. When it comes to gameplay, Friends of Mineral Town is a life and farming simulation game. As you go through each day, you're going to be doing a lot of different things, from farming and taking care of animals to interacting with other people around town. Before moving on, this is a remake of Harvest Moon: Friends of Mineral Town from the Game Boy Advance. Not only does it include all original content plus some new stuff like the new Bachelorette Jennifer, but we've also got an in-game way to access all of the special features that the original had to connect to a GameCube and Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life to be able to unlock. Another little nod to the original I noticed was the camera angle. You can have it completely top view so it looks very retro like the original looked, or you can lower it down a little bit for a more 3D and modern feel. Now when we get into the game itself, Friends of Mineral Town is a very laid back and casual game. There is no main task that you absolutely have to go out and do. There are lots of things you can do, from farming and taking care of animals, to talking with and giving gifts to other townsfolk. The list really just keeps going the more you explore, but admittedly farming is a very large part of it. After all, if you follow the story, that's what you're supposed to be doing here. And the farming aspect has a lot to it. You have an absolutely massive area for your farm, lots of different seeds and crops that you can get across the various seasons, tools that will eventually level up and be upgradable so you can do AoE effects instead of just managing one tile at a time, animals that you can raise and take care of to take part in events and help around with the farm. And you can even go behind the church and start giving the little sprites presents to eventually allow them to come and help out with the farm as well. And that's just the farming aspect. That's not even getting into the whole time management system with all of the shops around town. Some stores are closed some days of the week and they're only open during certain hours. And of course, the final and most important thing you can do is giving away gifts to other people to raise their affection and eventually get married. This definitely gives you a lot of things that you can do throughout each day, but it also brings up a hindrance of the game. Friends of Mineral Town has a huge learning curve. Many of the gameplay mechanics and features are not explained to you and have to be found through exploration. An example would be the Harvest Goddess. Giving her gifts is the key to unlocking a lot of the game's features, including those GBA GameCube Link features from the original game. She's hidden in this spring, and the only reason I actually found her was that I was walking around this area carrying an item and just happened to see the little notification letting me know I could throw something into that spring. It's also worth noting that everything in this game requires a lot of effort. You're not going to boot this up for the first time, find out your love interest's favorite item, and spend the first day of playing getting them all the way up to marriage status. You might be able to do that in games like Stardew Valley, but here it's going to take considerably longer. To give you an idea, if you talk to your love interest every day and give them their absolute favorite gift every day, it is going to take months upon months of in-game time to get them up there and get all of their events going. And you're not going to have access to any of those favorite items when you first start the game. First, you've got to build yourself up and expand your house to gain a kitchen and learn the recipes for those items before you can even start that. It's definitely a game that will reward you for your hard work, but it can get a bit repetitive and lengthy. I spent week after week after week giving presents to all of the sprites before they finally made friends with me and would help me out on my farm. Though on the flip side, it does give the game a lot of content and length. If you go into the game with the main goal of I want to build up my farm and get married, you're probably going to be spending no less than 20 to 30 hours before that happens. And now let's get into presentation. The game is very colorful and all of the character models are nice and smooth. It's also got a very cutesy design that is just screaming cute everywhere you look. Though I will admit the chibi style is a bit strange when you get to the point where you're getting married and both you and your spouse still look like children. I never had any problems with performance, so now let's go into battery life. On the original model, Friends of Mineral Town has a battery range of 3 hours and 41 minutes up to 4 hours and 58 minutes. On the Nintendo Switch Lite, it has a range of 3 hours and 58 minutes up to 5 hours and 42 minutes. And on the V2 or Redbox 2019 model, it has a range of 5 hours and 39 minutes up to 7 hours and 29 minutes. In conclusion, Friends of Mineral Town returns to handhelds, offering a very relaxing game that, like real farming, rewards your hard work. Now on the downside, the amount of repetition to get a lot of features going is quite a lot, and there's a pretty steep learning curve. But if you don't mind spending a long time building up to get that farm help and marriage going, it's an adorable little farming sim to sit on your Switch alongside Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. Reviews to go. Rates Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town for the Nintendo Switch an 8.5 out of 10. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.